Well, folks, another match week in the books, and it was an interesting one for match week 25 of the Premier League. Noel, we had some very interesting results, some good, some bad, depending on your perspective. But we'll get into it shortly. How you doing there, Noel?
As I was just moaning to you off air, I'm freezing. I'm so fed up with the minus 25 conditions at the moment that we've been in the last 3 weeks. So I'm bored of it. I am bored of being cold. I'm bored of running everywhere from my car. Yeah. So I'd rather stay at home and watch soccer, but
Yeah,
but you have to go and do this thing called work to pay the bills. So yeah, fun, but it's all good. Let's move on to their cross London rivals, Arsenal, who put up
can't
a
complain.
they did a pretty decent game against Sunderland. Sunderland really gave a good account of themselves, and I think this is one of those games when you watch this game, you sit back and go, I don't know how Sunderland lost that 3-0 because they were pretty much value for money. They were very dogged in defense. They were very good in terms of how they played, and yeah, I was very surprised at the 3-0 scoreline at the end of this one. But again, the Gyökeres show rolled into town.
I think my take on that is that Sunderland were in the game up until once Arsenal scored. Like if you've seen Sunderland's results as of late, they have kind of fallen out the form that they were in, up until at least the end of 2025. January hasn't been going into February hasn't been as kind to them. They've struggled a bit. Some players maybe have hit a bit of a wall, and they don't have, say, the depth of some of the other teams. So I think they gave a great fight against Arsenal, and it was a good, from a neutral standpoint, it was a nice match to watch up until, like I said, when Arsenal scored, they showed the difference between one of the better teams and where Sunderland needs to be. And even though Sunderland still played, like they didn't, just collapse and say, all right, you know what, this is not our day. They still gave a good fight for it. But at the end of the day, Arsenal's firepower, their depth, their strength was just too much for a team like Sunderland.
Yeah, the
And you're
quality
right,
was definitely
Gyökeres,
there. Yeah,
as of
100. Yeah, I agree with you.
yeah, Gyökeres has he's woken up as of late. He's gotten what 2 or 3 goals in the past few games.
Yeah.
Still maybe not as um, proficient as they would have liked to have seen him all season long, but doesn't matter when you still have a 6 point lead. Is it 6 point or not? Can't remember
Yeah,
what
it's
the lead is on.
6 points. I think it's 6 points.
Yeah, so they're all cylinders are rolling. It's like I think we said it before. This is Arsenal's season to lose. It's really that simple, and everything is week in, week out. Things fall into place for them. So, like I said, unless they shit the bed, this should be their year. Now, mind you, we just finished talking about 6 points. It doesn't take much for you to lose those 6 points, right? It's 2 games, and a
Yeah.
team like City, with the depth that they have, Arsenal has to just continue to win. As long as they continue to do what they're doing, they have the control. They have the ability to seal their fate.
Well, this could be Arsenal's dream season. Just imagine if they win the title and Spurs get relegated. That's like Christmas, New
Oh,
Year,
yeah,
your birthday for the next 5 years, all in one day. It's
but you got to think somebody sold their soul to the devil for it to fall into place like that
I'm just
because
just gonna put it out there in the
Arsenal
universe.
may ne- Arsenal may never win. If that happens, Arsenal may never win another title because it's like the gods will be like, you won a title and your biggest rivals got relegated. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like that's the curse of the Bambino kind of stuff. Like it's just
For
stuff
sure.
that's baked into the legend. But yeah, you know what? And I think on the Gyökeres, I think he scored. He scored before. He scored in that 4-0 thrashing of Leeds, right? And then he scored two again.
Yeah.
So I think he's up to 8 now. I think, which is 8 and 18. So obviously it's not the return that I think they thought they were going to get. But I think at the end of the day, he's also first year in the Premier League, and he has some experience in English football before. But I think at the end of the day, I think Arsenal, if they the problem is they've been starting Gabriel Jesus as well, which, I know quite a few Arsenal fans, a couple of them were messaging me on Saturday going, why is he not starting? And then he scores 2 goals and they're like, see, I told you he should start. So maybe he'll get the start this weekend, and hopefully I get less text messages about it.
And another reason Sunderland struggled, when your best player is out injured, right? They don't have Shaka right now, and without Grant Shaka, like he's been their main man throughout the season. So without
Yeah.
him out there, his leadership, his experience, you're gonna struggle, right? So again, no matter what happens, Sunderland has, proven that, what, yeah, they've again struggled as of late, but I think we can both confidently say they're here to stay for this year. They'll be back next season. They'll have the ability to continue to spend. They'll have more money to spend going into next summer. And, conceivably they could be, maybe not they won't surprise anyone next year, but they could easily be competing again as a top, in that 8 to 15 position.
Yeah, I think I would say they're probably 4 wins away from confirming their status for next year, because I think they've got I think it's 13 points to the bottom 3. I think they're pretty safe. I think, a couple more wins and you're guaranteed that you'll be back next year. So I think that was goal number 1 for them, and then whatever they do after that has been good. And again, like I say, we've praised Sunderland a lot this year, and I think they approached it the right way. They've got their tactics right. It's okay to get beat against a team like Arsenal, because you just don't have the quality and strength of depth and the substitutions that when you look at Arsenal's subs bench and you go, holy crap, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things. Yeah, and we all know that it was an arms race this offseason, and people keep forgetting that. Everybody pumped an awful lot of money into those clubs, and some of them they've worked for, and some of them haven't. But for the most part, they've got strength in depth and in numbers, and even when they've got some injuries, they still look very strong. And I think at the end of the day, Sunderland, gave a good account of themselves, and by all, they'll be back next year, and I think that's all they care about, right? Because at the end of the day, you just want to keep playing in the Premier League.
Well, that is it then for match week 25. As usual, thanks for joining us. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and of course, with all our videos, give us that thumbs up. All right, Noel, my friend, thanks for another week.
Yep.
I don't know when we'll record our next one, because these midweek games just kind of suck, but we'll try to get catch up in the next few days.
We'll have a quick recap some point this week. I think maybe we'll try and squeeze one in and get a quick recap going. But yeah, I think some big games are obviously coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'm just Forest of Wolves. I need them to get 3 points at the City Ground, so that would be nice.
Yeah, and we're away to Sunderland, so that's not going to be an easy one. But hopefully they can get the 3 points. So that is it for us here with another episode of the 6 Yard Line podcast. I'm Sean. That's Mo. Thanks for joining us. Now have a good one. Take care.
Thanks, guys.